Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your weekly forecast. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios who have a birthday this week. And we're coming into the eclipse on November 8th, the full moon eclipse in Taurus. We're going to see what's coming up here for the Scorpio collective. This is for Scorpio sun, moon, and rising. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate. And that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. And keep in mind, my dears, that since we have an eclipsed full moon this week, the things coming up in this reading will most probably go for the next 6 months, or some of it at least, right? Like we might be kicking things off for the next 6 months. And as always, you might find this video years from now. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to hear the messages. Let's get right on into it, my babies. First card coming up for the Scorpio collective is Judgment. Not surprising. We've got a lot of big energies right now. We've been having them come up for quite some time. We had about 5 months ago, almost 6 months now, a full moon eclipse in Scorpio, right? In our sign. I'm a Scorpio too. And so eclipses uncover and reveal a lot of things. A lot of things come to the surface. And so Judgment card coming up here for Scorpio, you might be feeling like you're at a really significant crossroads right now. And you're trying to figure out what you're wanting to do. Like you're wanting to do something meaningful. And you're thinking about mortality, I feel. Oh, wow. That's a really heavy message that just came in. I feel like some of you Scorpios are thinking that, hey, like I'm not going to be here forever. Like, what do I want to do in the time that I'm here? Both in terms of dreams and aspirations and like travel and all those things we say, no, I've always wanted to, see this country, or I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, like whatever it might be. That stuff, like a lot of that stuff, like in the moment stuff, which I think is great, but I feel like you're also thinking about like, you know, how valuable your time is, how precious your time is. So some of you might be really looking at like situations you've been dealing with, things that you've been dealing with, and you're like, I don't want to give this any more time. My time is precious. My time is valuable. And I don't want to spend the rest of my days here on this planet giving my time and energy to these situations. Some of you, it could be a massive career change you're feeling called to make. It could be a living arrangement. It could just be drama that you've been dealing with. And you might be saying, well, if I'm going to help people, I want to help people who really need the help, not people who are taking advantage of the situation. So that being said, maybe some of you are getting more involved in like philanthropy. Maybe you guys some of you have been really financially generous to people in your life who aren't appreciating it and are constantly asking for more and aren't doing anything for themselves. And you might say, you know what? There are people out there that could really use this generosity. There are people out there who really need help, who are really struggling. So maybe you start setting that aside and you say, I'm going to give it to this cause or that cause. I'm going to help out these people or those people instead of, I don't know, like, I don't know why. I don't know if any of you are like rolling in this kind of money. I sure am not. But I just thought of like when they would have the MTV, like the My Sweet 16, and like the kid would freak out and flip out because they got like a BMW instead of a Porsche or something. I don't know if some of you are like in that kind of situation, or you feel like you're in that kind of situation where you're like, man, like when I was your age, I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, so some of you maybe are thinking about like if it's not appreciated, I want to put this where it's going to be appreciated or where it's going to be needed. There could also be something here of like feeling like you're being called, like answering a calling. You're feeling moved to do something, and you're feeling like it's time to do that. And so you're feeling called towards acts of service, stepping onto your path, or connecting more deeply in your spirituality. I feel a significant crossroads here. A really significant crossroads here. And I feel like some of you are about to do something that you know is going to upset a lot of people because they just want you to stay how is comfortable for them or how is convenient for them. So some of you may be, I don't know, coming out of the mystic's closet. I like to call it the mystic's closet instead of the witch's closet because we're not all witches. Those of us who are into the metaphysical, and spiritual and psychic and tarot. And I'm not saying you can't be a witch. I'm not like putting witches down. But I'm sure witches don't appreciate people going around and calling themselves witches if they don't know anything about it. So I don't like to call it the witch's closet. I just like to say like the mystic's closet or the metaphysical closet, something along those lines. And I feel like a sense of just kind of like I'm just embracing me. I'm embracing who I am. The next card coming up here for the Scorpio collective. Ooh, now we have major arcana cards coming back to back. Big changes in a short period of time, my darlings. There could be a situation here, a decision around love life. Our next card here is the Lovers, okay? And I've said this previously in previous videos. When the tarot was first put together, the Lovers card was not called the Lovers. The sixth major arcana was not called the Lovers initially. It was called the Choice, the Decision, the Sacrifice in different decks. So it's about choosing between two things. For some of you, this could be about choosing between two lovers. You may have two people that are into you and you're just trying to figure out, okay, do I want this person or that person? For other ones of you, you might be looking at how your life has been affecting your love life. You might start to realize that, hey, you know what? I could have a really happy love life right now. I could be, I don't know why I just saw Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, like in my mind's eye. I could be somewhere soaking it all up with my soulmate right now. So maybe you might be thinking about like things that like you're starting to see things in your life that got in the way of your love life or got in the way of a relationship. And so it could be a situation where you're starting to make changes in your life to make room for a romantic life. You might be realizing that, hey, you know what, my life hasn't been very compatible with having a love life or having a personal life. And so some of you may be making changes in this way. And some of you might be thinking about love in general, right? So I feel like some of you may be encountering, and maybe it's not going to be this week, maybe over the next 6 months, encountering a really significant soulmate, where like you feel the connection and you're like, yes, you know, I have a connection with this person. I could see myself with this person. I would be really happy with this person. But I feel there's something here that if you do accept this relationship, it's altering your path in some way. Like maybe it's gonna result in a relocation that you weren't planning on making. Or maybe this person is involved in a different way of life or a different style of living, and you're contemplating like, okay, like is this something I could foresee myself doing, or are these things that I could be adaptable to? So there could be something here of like a person who's coming in and changing your life in some way, and you're thinking, do I want to embrace this or do I want to stay on my current path? Okay, some of you are like, I'm up for the adventure. Let's do it, you know. And I feel most of you will most likely be more likely to be up for the adventure. And this could be other things too in life. It doesn't have to be love life, right? Because it's the choice, it's the decision, it's you know, you might be looking at what you really want in life and realizing, hey, I've been making sacrifices in my life. For what? For what? Right? For a company that would have this position filled within probably 48 hours if something were to happen to me. Or, you know, like you might be thinking about just basically, um, yeah, like it's like what you're doing with your time. The next card coming up here for Scorpio. Ooh, well, hello. It just got spicy. Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords can come up in a couple of different ways. The Five of Swords can be like a burning of bridges, okay? So maybe some of you are going on this path. And like I said, Scorpio, I feel like some of you are going to do things that are going to like upset some people. And some of these people, when they see and they realize that they're not going to have it their way, they might just be like, well, then Scorpio, we're done, or I'm cutting you off. It could be a life path thing too. A lot of you know that when I finally gave in, because I fought the tarot thing for so long, I fought the whole metaphysical thing for so long. But when I finally gave in and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be a tarot reader, like that, I'm quitting my job and that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna read tarot and do energy healings. Uh, I lost a lot of friends, a lot of people who I thought wouldn't care had the strongest opinion, and people who I thought would have a problem with it, a lot of them were like, "Oh, okay, well that's cool. You do your thing," and they didn't have a problem with it. So you might be surprised. It might be the people you're not expecting, right? Maybe some of these people have been on their best behavior with you because they've been benefiting from you. But when they find out that that benefit's about to run off, then the true colors come out and they're like, ah, you know. So for some of you, it could be a burning of bridges in this way. Somebody's not getting what they want. And so they're like saying, well, then I'm never going to talk to you again. And most Scorpios are like, okay, then, all right, your choice. It might hurt, it might sting, but you might just be like, okay, all right, well, then if you're just around me to benefit from me, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you, too bad. This can also come up, the Five of Swords, with the way that now that you're making these changes, there could be somebody in your life that's triggering you. And a message is coming up for me, for you guys, Scorpio, that came up for a private reading I just recently did. I'm not going to say the person's name or their situation or anything like that, but it reminded me of like, this is really important because I think people go through this when they're changing and they're shifting. And it happened to me, but I haven't thought about it in such a long time. And this is the way I feel this is coming up for the Scorpio collective. Um, so remember how I said Five of Swords can be somebody triggering you, like pushing your buttons to get you to do what they want you to do, kind of thing. I feel in this instance, you have somebody who's pushing like the insecurity buttons or the vulnerability buttons or the buttons that make you second guess yourself. Like, are you sure you want to do that? Oh my goodness, I don't know. Like, what are you going to do if it doesn't work out? And oh, it's such a big risk. And don't get me wrong, sometimes people say these things because they want to make sure that we've thought something through. You might have an excellent backup plan. You might have taken excellent precautions to make sure that you're making good and safe decisions and that you have your little safety nets in place. But I feel like somebody's pushing the buttons of doubt, like to make you doubt yourself, right? I know that, I'll give you an example, okay? Uh, a lot of you know I'm the child of immigrants, right? Like my parents are not, they were not born or raised in the United States. They immigrated here. So a lot of my upbringing was influenced by culture. And I would see a lot of American kids and their parents would like, oh, you're 18 now. Oh, great. Okay, go backpacking across the world and, go move out and be on your own and, go travel the world. And like they had so much they could just explore. And I always wanted to explore. But for me and my culture, it's like, you can't do that. You have to wait till you get married. And if your husband says you can explore, then you explore with your husband, right? Like you can't go out and you can't do things like that. And so I kind of started to just, little by little do my own thing, venture out, kind of break away from culture. I got to travel. I got to go see friends in different states. And that was a big deal. And people were like, oh my gosh, like you're living like a boy. Like you're living, like it was like a big thing. And it was always like, it's so dangerous. And like I'd be going to stay with people I knew. I'm not just getting in a plane and I'm not just like going across the country to a place where I don't speak the language, or across the world to a place where I don't speak the language and I don't know anybody and I'm going by myself. And some people do that, but they do it in like a safe way. But they just, it was just like I was doing something so risky. I was doing something so crazy, right? And so I would like doubt myself. Oh, maybe it's dangerous. Maybe I shouldn't get on a plane. Or maybe I should, what I mean? Like when I was younger. And so like I feel like it's something like this. And they might mean well. Maybe they're really concerned for your safety, But I just feel like people are saying things or doing things where it's like, um it's not considered a good idea, or like you don't know what you're doing, or you haven't thought about this, or you're not going to succeed, or you know what I mean, like to kind of make you doubt yourself so that you don't do these things, right? For some of you, maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're getting into a relationship with somebody who's very different from your friends and family and upbringing, but you feel that connection, and they might say, oh, it's not going to work out, oh, they're just playing you, oh, you know what I mean, like they just might be saying things to make you feel um like you can't trust yourself. That's the button I feel like is getting pushed here. And you can journal it out. What happened? What did they say? How did it make me feel? When's the first time in my life I can recall feeling this way? Who made me feel that way then? Why do I think they're doing this? What are they getting out of making me feel this way? Write out a forgiveness to them, write out a forgiveness to yourself, and then write out how you're choosing to feel about yourself and about the situation from now on moving forward. Next card coming up for Scorpio Collective is I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. It's like just, yeah, it just classic. It never ends. It never ends for Scorpio. Ten of Swords. Holy cannoli. So, Ten of Swords, like I said, there could be a burning of bridges, and some of you are going to burn some bridges. If not this week, things may be happening this week that are setting things in motion that at some point over the next 6 months, we're having some scorched earth burning of bridges action going on. And a lot of it is because you're just embracing your path, right? And it's inconvenient to other people, and they can't handle it, and they don't like it, and they don't want it, and there's like a burning of bridges. Okay, Ten of Swords can also be um or maybe I don't know, Scorpio, maybe for some of you, like this is a message that maybe there's somebody in your life, maybe you have a child or something, and you're very opinionated about what they're doing. Maybe this is like a, hey, this is going to be a burning of bridges if you keep pushing this, or if you don't, allow them to explore. It could be a message like this for some of you. But I think for a lot of you, it's just you're going on your path and there are people around you who just can't deal with it. Ten of Swords is also very positive in the sense of like breaking out of karmic cycles. Like you never have to repeat a karmic cycle again. You've learned that lesson, it's done. And it could be coming into sobriety, like overcoming addictions, and gravitating just very naturally towards healthier decisions and behaviors. And the Ten of Swords can be a bittersweet moment in which you're leaving a situation that once upon a time was really great for you. I know I felt that way when I quit teaching. It was very bittersweet. On one hand, it was time to quit, and on the other hand, it's like, but I had so much I was grateful for, and there was so much I was gonna miss. But it was also like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. So it could be like a bittersweet transition into a new cycle. You might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks your moon sign or rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. There's a list in the description that will take you to the other videos. Also, love readings for November, linked in the description. And if you'd like to schedule a private reading with me, link in the description that will take you to the scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite. And for those of you who don't know, I am donating a portion of the income from private readings to buying toys for tots. I shared some of the toys I've bought so far in the card of the day video, and I'm going to take pictures and post them in the community tab so you guys can see what I'm contributing, what I'm donating, with your help, of course. And I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Don't forget to check out the card of the day on the channel. Take care and be well, my darlings. Bye.